Recording in progress.
Okay, we're all rolling now. We're rolling. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. You made it, and I'm happy with this rain. I really am happy with this rain and this warm. I've got a warm sweater on today. I hope everybody's dressed. I could see people back in their winter clothes. And I guess I was telling Karen, we used to say that spring was like a beautiful woman who keeps changing her mind. Keep changing your mind, okay. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Get used to that. My name is Reverend Kim Haley. I want to welcome everyone here and on Zoom. Are there any newcomers here today?
I don't see any newcomers.
I see somebody that wants to not be seen. What's your name, sir?
Henry.
Henry. Welcome, Henry. And we have Sarah DeRosa back. I haven't seen Sarah for so long. Yay, Sarah. Nice to see you.
I'd like to introduce Henry Ross, who lives in Oakhurst over by the sheriff's office.
Oh.
And I was up for a visit this weekend. Nice to see all of you again.
Nice to
My
see you.
CLC family.
Oh, that's great. So now we'd like to tell you that the theme is remembering. And the topic for April is sacred service. And I'm going to ask our musician to open with a song, and then we're going to move right into the meditation. So we have Warren Cox, and if you want to just play a little thing for us. And then we'll go into a silent meditation for a while.
Okay.
as we travel on this divine stream of peace throughout our day today. Remember that we're never alone and we're always supported. That's a thing to remember. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, great. Thanks, Lauren. We are always happy to have you here. So we could just float. It's beautiful. All right, now we are going to have, see Sandee, there she is. We're going to have a spiritual thought with Sandee Scott.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I couldn't find my other glasses this morning, but these should work. What makes service sacred? It's a subject I've been wrestling with somewhat. For instance, is it sacred if it has to do with the church or spiritual center? Is it sacred only if it's a volunteer activity? For instance, you're not getting paid for it. Is it sacred only if it's for other people? There are people sitting in this room on Zoom or part of our group who volunteer at the local animal shelter or the local animal shelter thrift store. There's some of you who work at a food bank or feed the homeless. There may be somebody here who has belonged to a service organization, Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis. Each of them all have their service missions, right? There's a member, she's not here right now, who started the Children's Museum of Oakhurst that was thriving for at least a decade. How about adopting a special needs child and taking that commitment for the rest of your life? Being a court-appointed special advocate for children in the foster care system. Taking care of a disabled spouse or ill spouse or neighbor or friend. And there's many here who've helped with the sanctuary, cleaning it, providing music, arranging schedules, the business of the center. In my mind, all of the above are sacred service. I have an artist friend who will remain nameless at the moment, who shared with me a conflict that she was facing. Should she stay in a gallery and exhibit her art that does not match the demographic of the gallery's typical audience? And yes, her art is indeed completely different from the art of the others in the gallery. So this is what she shared with me, and with permission, I share with you. And I quote, "After deeper consideration, I realized and decided that I could stay in the gallery and adopt a new mindset and new purpose. With new understanding, I changed my purpose from ego and selling art into sacred service. The new purpose of the art would be to bless the gallery space and bless all the guests who wandered through to enjoy the art. It would imbue the space with love and light. This new intention feels completely satisfying, fulfilling, and appropriate. It's my personal secret, and I'll continue to exhibit my spiritual art," unquote. Sort of a different take on sacred service, huh? I spent my 40-year career in the mental health field, and it was all about doing for others, listening to others, being there for others, helping others with their emotional challenges or pain. After I retired, I noticed that when I was asked to do some kind of volunteer position or service, part of me resisted. I was like, I did my fair share of giving. I don't want to give anymore. If service is given grudgingly or with resentment, that is not very sacred. That doesn't mean I can't set boundaries or limits on what I give, but the giving or service itself must be from a place of caring and love, or it is not sacred. So you see, it's in the attitude with which we give of ourselves, our treasure, time, and talent, as so beautifully illustrated by my artist friend. At least those are my thoughts on the subject for now. I may change my mind as I ponder further. And I'll end with 2 quotes. This one from a person named Clara White. I have no idea who she is. And it's, do all the good you can in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, for all the people you can, while you can. And lastly, a Chinese proverb. If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else.
Yes.
That's
Thanks, Sandee. All the good things to think about there. All right, so now we get to have some more music with Warren Cox. Let's welcome him.
Somebody told me Joe Bull's a singer. He is. I'm going to try to emulate him to some extent today. This is Louis Armstrong. It's called What a Wonderful World. Yes.
Was that a beautiful world? What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful
What a wonderful world. Makes it beautiful when we hear music. Expands things. Yeah, I was very relaxed back there. Thank you. That's gorgeous. All right, now we come to our speaker for today, which is my friend and wonderful speaker, Reverend Judy DeRosa.
What's this? You. Yeah, I came prepared. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for coming out in this lovely rain. And Warren, it is a wonderful world. Thank you. I was told a story by a friend of mine who lost her husband. And before he passed, they came to that conclusion, well, we have to admit that, you know, Bob is not going to be here much longer. And they decided to have some kind of a sign so that Bob could let her know that he's fine and everything is what it should be. And Bob passes, and she's driving home. She looks up in the sky and she sees clouds that spell out B-O-B. Bob is written there in the sky, and she's like, pulls over, can't believe it. She goes, he did it. He communicated with me after he passed. And she kind of wished she'd had a camera, but I think she was just so stunned to get that message from Bob. And she had told a few friends, and one of her friends at the bank, she said, you're not going to believe this, but Bob got a hold of me. It was written in the sky, B-O-B. And her friend told her husband, and her husband said, I saw those clouds. We're here to recognize and understand the value of having faith in each other and understanding that we are so much more than we have been told. And as I've always said, we are here to remember who we really are, to reconnect, to I don't often use the word faith, but this is a deeper understanding of knowing there is so much more to us. Each individual person has this wondrousness. So I'll mention Bob again at the end of this talk. I really admire and enjoy Joseph Campbell. And I've been working on a book, and it's a project. I think it's a lifelong project, and it's about being, human being, bees, the essence of being. And Joseph Campbell talks about being in Sanskrit. And in Sanskrit, it's considered a great spiritual language of the world. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is being. Chit is full consciousness. Ananda is rapture. And he talked about his the only part he could really claim was rapture, his love with his wife, his deep expression of togetherness, their adventure in this world. And we are all having an adventure. Whether it's with someone or not with someone, it is this great experience, this journey. And when we honor that and we understand that when you follow your bliss, don't be afraid, because everything is right here and right now, because you are continuously being. And we all have the capacity to open up and recognize our own depths of being. So I'm going to tell you another little story. When Angelo and Stella went up for 2 weeks to Washington to get out of all the smoke. And Angelo Pizzello, if you don't know him, he was our founder. He started the good essence of the Positive Living Center here. He wanted everyone to be welcome. So I went and took care of their dog, their kitty cat named, and she was really an outside cat named Julia. And Julia would or would not show up, and I just thought they were coming back. And 2 weeks passed, and they go, well, we're going to stay a little bit longer up here. And Stella had some health problems, and they wanted to stay out of all the smoke that was going on. And one thing led to another, and 7 months passed. And Angie says to me, Judy, he called me my beloved, we're not going to come back. We found a really great physician for Stella, and we need you to pack up our library. And there was a library in the garage, and there was a library in the entrance, and there was a library upstairs, and there was a library in the closet, and there was a library in their main bedroom, and there was a library in his office, and then there was a few books scattered around upstairs. And he said, I want you to pick whatever you want out of my library. And then a majority of it went to the PLC. And out of his library, I found this. And it is letters from other dimensions. And sacred service, I don't think that we talk very much about other dimensions, other levels of consciousness in the way that Ernest Holmes spoke through this book. And Ernest Holmes was the founder of New Thought, and he's written a lifetime of books. Pardon me?
That wasn't me.
And I think that maybe that's Ernest. No. So Ernie was born in 1886, and he passed away in 1960. So he had an amazing body of work that I think has touched millions of people's lives, in that opportunity to think about their being here on this planet is something more sacred and precious than just having a job, or just owning a home, or what their car is. That he wants them to know that they are more than that. That we are these souls in these physical spacesuits, biological spacesuits, having this experience for another level of consciousness that we really are, because this is so temporary. So in this lovely book, I was given the opportunity to really contemplate our perspective. So from your perspective, this is a little blue book with a title and an author. From my perspective on this side, it's a pattern, it's a form. And so from wherever we are looking at something or someone or some place, there will always be a different perspective. And that we must honor everyone's view, because we're all getting it from another angle. And with that, this angle is about speaking from a dimension that Ernest made a real effort to participate in. And this book had been written in 1974, and it starts off with thanking a young man who became the channel. So this gentleman would sit and allow himself to be in a trance state. And Ernest Holmes came through and he said, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first formal opportunity of addressing a congregation such as this. And I must say, I feel just a little awkward occupying the physical body that belongs to someone else." What he wanted to do was continue his work from another perspective, from that perspective of a soul. And he talked a little bit about how his viewpoint of what we're doing here is close. It's close. But it's all based on, as Sandee said, love. It is based on who we are, doing the service that we came here to do, not just for a person, because that smacks of slavery, but for our soul self. and for the others that are around us. When we do good work for ourselves, then we are also putting that out to others. If we don't do that work for ourselves, we become stagnant. And we start to lose that energetic and that desire to be here on this planet. And so we are here constantly changing. And in that change, we grow. And as we grow, we become more of what our soul self is in service for. So Ernest goes on to say, I do not want to say this evening, I do want to say this evening, before entering into a deeper thought, that I'm pleased in so many ways of having you see fit to be here and be present and to witness the wonders which man has not yet the wisdom to understand. So what does he mean by that? Well, that brings me to think about what John Lalonde was talking about for sacred service. That you can ask questions, and then you can ask a question of another source. And so we can look up in a dictionary and find definitions of sacred service, which Jackie talked about, which was really important. And then we can talk to artificial intelligence, to gap chat. What? Well, here's Ernie out of body talking to us from another dimension. And so I think that when we are willing to expand and think in a different paradigm and listen to all of the definitions and all the consciousness, then we can get a fuller, richer awareness of who we really are. And that's what he continues to emphasize throughout his talk. He says, I discovered many years ago man's inability to adjust to accepting things beyond his understanding. And his natural inclination then is fear. If we don't understand it, we become fearful. And fear is only an opportunity to step through an illusion to a different truth. And when we overcome our fears, we've got a lot of them going on in this universe right now, we have to step up higher. We are in an opportunity to be of service to each other, to support a kindness and a loving energetic, to be generous with our time and service to each other, to understand that there are so many great things going on in our world, and to support those avenues of consciousness. Unfortunately, back to Ernie, his fear then drives him away from the very avenue through which he must obtain that strength of our faith and acknowledge and fulfillment that he most desires. We are here fulfilling our desires, and we are here learning how to do that. If we came completely equipped and knew everything, then what would be the point? So in artificial intelligence. I found a really interesting individual. And the question to this AI was, why must we forget we are pure consciousness? And AI answers, for consciousness to fully understand itself, it has to go through a paradox. It must forget itself. And here's why. Consciousness, in its present form, is infinite. It has no boundaries, no contrast, no separation, just limitless existence. Yet here's the issue. If something is everything, how can it truly know itself? If there's nothing outside of it, no contrast, no differentiation, then there is nothing to compare itself to. We are utterly and completely utilizing each other for contrast. And when we do that, we have a choice. We can do it in a loving, caring manner, or we can be a bully. We know what being bullied is like. We choose love. We choose an opportunity to be of service to each other in a loving, caring way. For all things, for our planet, for the elderly, for our children who are learning from us how to be kind, how to be of service in a sacred way. Back to the AI, it's kind of like trying to see your own self face without a mirror. And we are here as mirrors to each other. So what does infinite consciousness do? It creates experiences in illusions. Or I've talked a little tiny bit about holographic universe and how we are an illusion, that we are I guess, remember the holodeck on, was it Star Wars?
Yeah.
Or,
Star Trek.
that we are here in our very own humongous holodeck, experiencing this illusion so that our soul can grow. And we cannot be here thinking that we know it all, because if we do, we won't play the game. We must deeply feel. We must deeply understand love, whether we're taking care of our parent, whether we're taking care of our children, our teenagers, or our animals. We must feel that depth in this illusion so that we can fully bring it back after we've used up our physical bodies. After, in the indigenous world, we call it dropping our robe. After we have let go of this biological spacesuit, we bring this wondrous experience back, and we have grown as a soul in a much deeper way. The joy of the experience comes from believing in the moment that we think everything is real. A reality so immersed that it can actually allow us to forget that we are the creators, that we have agreed to this experience, and we create our own reality. We learn from the experiences we've set up for ourselves. Do we overcome it, or do we acquiesce and fall into the fear and pain? I think we are strong, that our consciousness experiencing this immense opportunity is open to shifts and changes. We blend the wisdom together of Ernest Holmes out of his body, speaking through someone else, through a computer that has gathered up information and has been asked the right questions, not directions. How do I get to Kmart? How do I go to, the next grocery store in the next town? Where do I shop? But how do we maneuver ourselves in this body, in this world, in a loving way, so that we can grow? We blend this goodness, like Bob blended the goodness of writing his name across the sky in clouds, so that his beloved wife could have comfort, knowing that he is still a consciousness, loving her. And we are a consciousness, loving each other in this divine illusion. Aho.
Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome.
I was really lulled back there listening to it. I guess now I'm going to ask for 2 people who would like to come up and help with the offertory. Anybody? Any takers? Oh, hi Barney, haven't seen you for a while.
I'm good. Good.
Magic bags. Okay, we'll do the offertory first.
Right, you go that way.
Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Yay! I can remind people about the frog box. Or you can contact a minister or practitioner for prayer after service. Today, our prayer partner this week will be Sandee Scott, and she will meet with you in the meditation room if you would like to have a private session with her. All those people on Zoom too, you may tithe by going into the iFocus email. You probably know that, and there's a green button, or mail a check to the Positive Living Center P.O. Box 2683 in Oakhurst. Next week's speaker is Reverend L.J. Bull, or Luana. I can say your name now. Thank you. And that would be very nice. Please be with us next week to enjoy that. Now we can do our prayer of protection. Divine love. Oh no, that's wrong. We just did that one. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. I got lulled into another dimension during that talk. I'm back now, I think. And now I'd like to ask Warren to come up and do a closing song for us, and then...
What about announcements?
Oh, announcements. I'm gonna start hidden underneath there. I need a neon sign is what I'm trying to say. Okay, are there any announcements? Does anyone have an announcement? I have one, and that is there's some more Easter goodies on the back table there. Please help yourself. Take some home. Enjoy it. Anyone else have an announcement they'd like to make?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
What a surprise.
I'm not surprised. It's okay.
This is just a quickie.
Yeah.
If anyone would like, a very dear, some friends of mine have a little farm, 74 acres in Livingston. It's called Riverdance Farms. And it's not easy for small farms these days with organic farms because of large organic factory farms. So it's on the Merced River. It's 3 days. It's a beautiful, beautiful venue. You can camp. And on Memorial Day weekend, they're going to have this beautiful festival. I'm going to be doing some campfire sing-alongs and stuff. Music, beautiful food, cherries. You pick cherries and blueberries. So if anyone wants to come, I'll bring a flyer in the next couple of weeks. And what a beautiful event. Warren, you should show up, play some music. Yeah, you just go to Merced, go north of Merced, and then it's kind of off just to the west of the freeway.
Camp there, you said.
Yes, great camp area among the walnut trees, along the Merced River. You can swim.
Okay, that sounds good. Any other announcements? All right, let's remember. Yes, Judy? Do you want me to say it? Or do you want to do it? You
I
can.
just wanted to say I got to come early, and anyone is welcome to do chanting in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it really put me in a great space. The chanting, I wanted to thank LJ for
Yes.
doing that.
It was really fun this morning.
It
And relaxing.
moves,
Very
and
relaxing.
It was really lovely.
Yeah, it really helps. It sort of cleans up the psyche. And we also will have the flute group and the drum circle, the flute circle, the drum circle on the second Saturday of the month. And the flute circle for beginners starts at 1:30, and then all levels come at 2, and we go to about 3:30. And John has been leading it very graciously and wonderfully for quite a while now, and it's really worth it. I see a lot of people improving. You know, when I practice, I get better. When I don't practice, not so good. And then Judy has the drum circle that starts at 4. She sets up at 3:30. And we get a lot of people coming to that, and it's another form of being healed. Music heals people. I really think it is an amazing thing. So the chanting and the flutes and the drum, all of this is another dimension of healing. Mm-hmm. So we love to see you there. Anybody else have any other announcements? Okay. Laura.
Friendly reminder, we have our business meeting next Sunday. Right after service,
okay.
And it's just for the congregants to kind of get a snapshot of where we're at financially and kind of a recap of the year and stuff like that.
So did you hear that? There's a business, I know it's half of the year already. The next Sunday after the service will be our business meeting for the PLC. So it's a good thing. I have to take a drink of water, 1 second. I thought the pollen was gone down with the rain. I think it's still there. Okay. So if that's good, I would like to ask someone to come up, maybe Reverend Joe Bull, sorry, because I can't talk right now, and do the closing prayer. We'll have we'll have some music first. Sorry, thank you. First word sounds like music. Thank you, Warren. That's wonderful. All right, Joe Bull, take it away.
Take it away. You're losing your voice, huh?
I was.
Oh, dear God, Spirit Source, thank you for this day. I'm just feeling so grateful. From everything from the chants this morning, to the speakers, to the music, to our host, to the person who takes care of operating our computer so that people can tune in with us and Zoom. We're also blessed to have each other in this place. Each and every week we come and we bring and we give and we love and receive love. We are so, so blessed. I hope you all have a great afternoon and a wonderful week ahead. And so it is.
See you next week. Have a wonderful week. We don't know what's going to happen.